crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new sepulchre, in which no one had been buried. As evening approached, Joseph of Arimathea, a virtuous and righteous man, a disciple of Jesus, asked Pilate if he could remove the body of Jesus. Pilate gave Joseph of Arimathea permission to take the body. They wrapped the body in a linen cloth and laid him in a tomb hewn out of the rock. Nicodemus also came, bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, weighing about 100 pounds. So they laid the body of Jesus there, and it was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was about to begin. Then the men rolled a huge stone across the entrance to the tomb, and all departed. The women who had come with Jesus from Galilee came to see the tomb. Then they returned to their homes to prepare the spices and the perfumed oils. But they all rested on the Sabbath according to the commandments. The next day, the one following the day of preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered before Pilate. They said, "Sir, we remember that this impostor, while he was still alive, said, 'After 3 days I will rise again.' Give orders that the grave be secured until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come and steal the body and say to the people, 'He is risen from the dead.' And the last deception would be more dangerous than the first." Pilate said to them, "You have a guard. Secure it as best you can." So they went and secured the tomb by fixing a seal to the stone and setting a guard. After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, an angel of the Lord rolled back the stone. guards were struck with terror and fell like dead men. Then the guards went and told the high priests all that had happened. After taking counsel, the priests offered a rich bribe to the soldiers, telling them, "You are to say his disciples came by night and stole the body away while we were asleep. If this should come to the ears of the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." The soldiers took the money and did as they were instructed. On the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early in the morning. She saw the stone already rolled away. She ran back to the disciples and went to Simon Peter and the other disciple whom Jesus loved and said, "They have taken away the Lord. We don't know where they have laid him." Martha, with Mary of Cleophas and the other women, came to the tomb, bringing the spices they had prepared, and they found the stone already rolled away from the tomb. When they entered, they did not find the body of Jesus. While they were puzzling over this, two angels in bright white garments appeared to them, and they were terrified. The angel said to them, "Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen. The women returned and announced all these things to the disciples and the others in the upper room. Their story seemed nonsense. No one believed them. Peter and the other disciple both ran to the tomb. The other disciple ran faster than Peter and arrived at the tomb first. He stooped down and saw the burial cloths, but he did not go in. When Simon Peter arrived, he went into the tomb. Then the other disciple also went in, and he saw and believed. Then the disciples returned to the upper room. Mary stayed outside the tomb weeping. When she looked up, she saw two angels. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said, "They have taken my Lord, and I don't know where they have laid him." When she said this, she turned and saw Jesus, but she did not know it was Jesus. And he said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener. She said, "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you laid him, and I will take him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She said in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said, "Do not touch me now, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. Go to my brethren and tell them I am going to my Father and to your Father, to my God and to your God." Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord." Now that very day, 2 disciples were on their way to a village called Emmaus. They were talking about all the things that had happened. While they were talking, Jesus himself joined them, but they were prevented from recognizing him. Jesus asked, "What are you discussing?" One of them said, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know of the things that have taken place there?" Jesus replied, "What sort of things?" They said, "The things that happened to Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and men. How our chief priests and rulers handed him over to a sentence of death and crucified him. And we were hoping that he would be the one to redeem Israel. It is now 3 days since all this took place. Some women from our group have astounded us. They were at the tomb early this morning and did not find his body. They came back and said they had seen a vision of angels who announced that he was alive. Some of those with us went to the tomb, and they found things just as the women had described, but him they did not see." As they approached the village, Jesus gave the impression that he was going farther, but they urged him, "Stay with us." So he went in. While he was with them at table, he took bread, said the blessing, broke it, and gave it to them. With that, their eyes were opened, and they recognized him. They returned at once to Jerusalem. The 2 recounted how he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread. Written that the Messiah would suffer and rise from the dead on the 3rd day. You are witnesses to these things.